Hello, today we're going to take a look at a few basics of using Fluency Now, including downloading and installing the software, as well as connecting it to the TM and term server. This will allow you to access your assigned translation work directly through the Fluency Now software, saving you time and additional steps for checking the files in and out. First, we need to log in to the FluencyFlow vendor portal. You'll do this by entering your username and password and clicking sign in. This will bring you to your dashboard view, which is where you'll see any of your assigned items. Right now, what we want to do is click on the menu at the top right-hand corner, which should have your username listed. From there, click the My Profile button. This will take you to your vendor profile page. What we'll need to do is scroll down to the training section, which you see here. Now, the training section contains a lot of good information, especially if you're just getting started with using Fluency Now and the Fluency system. So we do encourage you to come back here and view the information in each of these links. But for right now, what we want to do is just click on this link, click here to download Fluency Now for free. Now, as you can see, this will launch a new tab in your browser, and it will be the download page. So you'll simply just click on download, and it'll start the download process for you, which includes selecting where you'd like to save this to on your computer. And now it'll begin to download. Once the download is complete, we'll go ahead and install that, which will simply be double-clicking on the installation file, and that'll launch a installation window, which you've probably seen something similar installing any other program on your computer. You'll simply follow the on-screen installation steps, and it'll walk you through getting Fluency Now installed on your computer. Once you've downloaded and installed the Fluency Now software, the next step will be to connect it to the TM and term server so that you can access your assigned work directly through Fluency Now. To do this, we'll need to go back into your profile page here in your web browser. And just above the training section, you'll find the Fluency Now server information section. In order to quickly connect to the server, you'll click on the Connect Me button that you see here. And in the new window that appears, click on Download Connect Me file. And you'll see in the Downloads folder of your browser that it has downloaded a flow connectme.cfg file, which will now import into the Fluency Now software. To import the CFG file and connect Fluency Now to the server, go ahead and open up the Fluency Now software. And once you do, click on Help, Connect to FluencyFlow. This will bring up an open window, allowing you to locate, select, and open the Flow Connect Me CFG file. Once you've done that, it'll ask you to verify your login information. Your login itself will already be listed. All you'll need to do is simply enter your password and click Connect. As long as you've entered your password correctly, it'll let you know you've connected to Fluency server successfully and you're now working on the server. Another way to tell that you're working on the server is you'll now see a FluencyFlow button in the upper toolbar of Fluency Now. Now that you've connected your copy of Fluency Now to the TM and term server, you'll be able to access all of your assignments directly through the FluencyFlow button here in Fluency Now. Let's go ahead and click on that now. A new window will appear, as you can see here, and it will list any assignments that are currently assigned to you. In this case, I've got one assignment, and I can tell it's from English to Spanish, and it is a translation assignment. When I'm ready to begin translation, all I need to do is click Checkout, which will bring up a new window with a little bit more information about this specific project. On this window, click on Checkout File. It'll ask you where you'd like to save that file to on your computer. Then it will open and you can get started on the translation. When opening the document, you'll see the translation file settings window. most of this information should already be filled out for you based on information contained in the file that you're opening. So you shouldn't need to worry about things like the source and target languages, locales, or the domain or client. Really the only thing that you'll want to do on this page is check the box to translate using TM matches, and either set it to 100% to search for perfect matches, or if you'd like to be able to benefit from partial matches as well, we recommend going as low as maybe 90% so that it can also potentially find you some partial matches from the database. Once you've done that, click OK, and this will complete the opening process of this document. As you can see, it checked the database for TM matches. In this case, it didn't find any. In most cases, when you're translating, you'll probably see at least some partial matches in there that you can use. Now that the document is completely open, the process will simply be to go through segment by segment, translating the document from the source language to the target language. As you can see, the source document is on the left over here, and that simply contains the original source document. And over here on the right-hand side, under target document, you'll see a copy of the source document right now. But as you translate, this text will update so you can see what it's going to look like in the target language. To translate, we'll use the translation window down here. And we'll simply follow along with the highlighted active segment, one sentence at a time. And there are a few ways that you can translate in this window. The first way would be to simply manually type it. And then as we move forward to the next segment, you'll notice that it updates in the target document up here. So now it's in the target language. You can also use machine translation. There are a variety of different providers that you can choose from, including Microsoft, Google, and so forth. So if I click on MT, it will send that request out to my preferred MT provider, and they'll send a potential translation back for me. In this case, it looks good, so I'll go ahead and move forward. And you would just continue through the document, manually translating, using machine translation and then modifying that. Or there's also translation memory and terminology matches that will help you as you go through the translation. You'll find these resources throughout the windows within Fluency now. As we can see at the bottom left here, I've got a translation memory window, and next to it there's terminology. And these are going to show you results based on the current segment that you're working on. So as I move between segments, you'll see that the results will change. And we can see there are perfect matches at the top of the list. And then as we go down the list, you'll start to see lower percentage partial matches. So as you go through a document, you'll be able to look down here as it loads instantly to see if there are any perfect matches or high percentage partial matches that you can source the translation text from, so you don't have to translate or retranslate a segment over and over again. If there's not a relevant enough match down here, you'll simply translate it as usual and move to the next segment. To use a TM match, let's say there is a match there and I want to use it, I can come down here and double click on the text of the entry I'd like to use, and it puts it up here in the translation window for me. Or let's say it's a high percentage partial match and I only want to use part of the translation. What I'm going to do is click, hold, and drag across the text that I want to use, leaving the rest of it unhighlighted. And then when I let go of the mouse button, it copies over to the translation window just the portion that I highlighted. So that's a really quick way that you can use, let's say maybe like a 90% match, and you can take just the 90% that matches and come back in here and type out the rest of it for whatever makes sense for this particular segment. The terminology window that you see here works in a similar way, but has some differences as well. What this is going to do is break down the sentence that you're working on word for word and show you a potential translation for it in the target language. Let's say I'm typing my translation in the translation window up here, and I want to use one of the particular words down here for the terms. I can double click on it, and it'll drop it into the translation window up here for me, and then I can continue to translate the rest of that segment. There's also an extended terminology window down here. So if this particular term maybe doesn't work in this context, you can check over here under extended terminology and see if there's maybe a different potential translation for that word that works better in this particular case. So those are a few of the basic windows that you're going to use on a regular basis. Probably most often the translation memory window down here to the left. So you would continue to translate this document. Again, it's just broken up on a sentence by sentence basis like this. You would get to the end of the document, and as soon as you're done and everything is translated, you'll come up here to where it says check in file and click on that button. It lets you know that Fluency will now save out your translation so that it can be checked in. Click OK. It'll ask you where you'd like to save the file to. Now it asks if you'd like to open the target document to finalize formatting before uploading to FluencyFlow. If you'd like to double check the document in its native format, you can do that. In this case, I'm just going to say no. We're just going to go ahead and upload it to FluencyFlow now. And finally, there is a window that allows you to type some notes to the project manager if necessary. If you want to let them know about a question or something that you came across, you can list some notes there. And by default, it'll say the file is marked file as completed. This box will be checked. Go ahead and leave that checked if you've completed the file, and then click check in. It'll let you know as soon as the file has successfully been checked in. Click OK. And you've now completed that document. So when you go back into the FluencyFlow button here, that file is now no longer listed in your assigned documents because you've completed it.